All right, today on Undisputed Under the Hood, we are talking about AC systems. Being August, we see a lot of client concerns about AC blowing warm. Just kind of wanted to give you a quick run through on what we do when those vehicles come in. So this vehicle came in. It's actually my personal vehicle. AC is blowing a little warm. It's not getting as cold as it usually does. So first thing we do is hook up the AC machine, and we hook up the lines to the service ports. Wow. And we do what's called an evacuation. So when you evacuate a system, it is sucking out all the Freon from the vehicle, and it is weighing it so we know how much came out. Freon system, AC systems, they run off weight of Freon. So if you come in here, you can see we have evacuated or recovered 0.98 kilograms. And we're sitting at 0 PSI. So this vehicle had 0.98 kilograms. If we come over here, we've looked up the specification. This vehicle is supposed to hold 3 pounds or 1.4 kilograms. So it's 2/3 full. That would account for why the AC is blowing warm and it's not blowing cold. So knowing that we're low on Freon, now we figured out, all right, we understand that it's not a compressor performance issue, it's not any of the components in the system. We understand that the vehicle is just low on Freon, and that's what's causing the AC to not blow coldly. So the next step is to do a vacuum test. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the machine, we're actually going to put the whole system into a vacuum, and that'll remove any air, any moisture, anything in the system that's not supposed to be there. And then basically it's going to hold it in a vacuum, and it's going to measure if it relieves pressure. If it relieves pressure, that tells us that we have a sizable leak. I'm going to assume that this vehicle is going to pass the vacuum test, because if it had a major leak, we would have had like 0 Freon. But it's part of the process, so we do it pretty much no matter what. So we're going to do that, and then we are going to come back and I will show you what we do after once it goes through its process. The reason we're cutting away is this takes 10 to 15 minutes for it to get it into a sufficient vacuum, and then to measure. It gives it an allotted amount of time to measure the change, to see if it can hold vacuum. So we'll come back in 1 second. All right, so we're back. We vacuumed the system, performed the leak test. So if you come over here, you can see when we vacuum it, it goes down into 30, and it's supposed to hold it. It holds it there for 10 minutes. If it comes up basically into this 10 section, the gray section, then that means it fails. So you can see it tells you right on the display, this vehicle test failed. So the next step is, depending on the history of the vehicle, there may or may not be dye in the system. The history of the vehicle and the age, meaning if the vehicle has had dye added recently, then we would immediately start looking for signs of dye. Probably would have started with that in that situation. Or if it's a new vehicle, new vehicles, sometimes they come with dye, sometimes they don't. Depends on, every vehicle is a little different. So in this case, since this vehicle I know has had dye added to it before, we are going to start looking for dye. And the way you do that is with these super trendy glasses and this black light. So basically the dye is UV, it's yellow UV dye, and put it in the system. The compressor sends it through the whole system wherever it's leaking from. Theoretically, you just find where the leak is and you go, all right, it's leaking right there. So come over here, we start looking at things. It's not going to show up real well in the video at the moment, but like start looking at these lines. I'm not really seeing anything there. You would look at the compressor. Vehicles like this that have rear AC, you would look at the line underneath. thanks to the magic of TV, I have actually found the leak. And I take the camera, you can see, all right, so let's do this first. See if we can get this thing to focus. We can see we got the black light on there. We're not really seeing anything. But if we come down here to the compressor, you can see, if I can hold everything at once. There we go. So, hold that like that. If you look, you know, you can see it's glowing. That's where the dye has leaked out. So this is a line. That's your compressor. In between there's some O-rings. So in this situation, we need to replace those O-rings. So what we would do is we would replace those O-rings and then do this test all over again. And then if it passes, we recharge it, we add more dye, and then we send it down the road. With AC systems, one of the repeat repairs we see regularly, especially on aging systems like this vehicle is 18 years old, is you have a leak and you fix one leak, and then you get a leak over here, you get a leak over there. And the reason that happens is because the system is sealed until one of the seals breaks, and everything kind of deteriorates until one just gives up and starts leaking. So all the seals are not 100% perfect. This one starts leaking, we replace that one, and now theoretically it's putting more pressure on the other ones, and then this one leaks. If you see that enough time, it's really just time to get in there and replace all the seals. So that is just basic AC diagnostic, the equipment, like the dye, how that works. We're gonna end this video here. Thanks for tuning in, and we got a couple more AC videos coming for you guys. So tune in as the week progresses. Thanks guys, bye.